Hello, my fellow squids. Ready to ride? Today we're diving into the deep end of the ocean, exploring the basics of riding a motorcycle. We're not just talking about hopping on and twisting the throttle. We're discussing the ins and outs of getting started, mastering control, and understanding the key components of your two-wheeled steed. But before we get to the nitty-gritty, let's talk safety. It's not just about looking cool in leathers. This gear is designed to protect you. A sturdy helmet is your best friend on the road, shielding that brilliant brain of yours. Gloves guard your hands, and a solid pair of boots and knee pads protect those legs. And don't forget your jacket. It's not just about battling the elements, but also about creating a barrier between you and the road. So, buckle up, don your helmet and gloves, and let's get revved up for an exciting ride. Now that we're all geared up, let's get acquainted with our trusty steed, the motorcycle. Think of this as an introduction, a handshake if you will, with your new two-wheeled companion. It's a bond that's going to grow with every ride, every mile you cover together. Let's start at the top. The handlebars, your command center. On the right, you have your throttle. Twist it towards you to increase speed and roll it away from you to slow down. Remember, smoothness is key. Think of it as a volume knob on your stereo, not a light switch. On the left side of the handlebars, you'll find the clutch lever. This is your connection between the engine and the rear wheel. When you pull it in, you're disconnecting the engine from the wheel. Release it, and you're back in business. Think of the clutch as a handshake between your engine and your rear wheel. Now, let's move to the center console. Here you'll find the gear lever. It's a simple up and down system. Press down for first gear, then it's up all the way. Second, third, fourth, and so on. But remember, it's one gear at a time. Don't get too excited and try to jump from first to fourth. Finally, we've got the brakes. The right handlebar has the front brake lever, and the right foot pedal is your rear brake. Use them together like a symphony. Too much front brake and you could end up doing an unwanted somersault. Too much rear brake and you could find yourself in a skid. Balance is critical here. And there you have it. The basic anatomy of your motorcycle. The throttle, the clutch, the gear lever, and the brakes. Each piece has its role, its function. Together, they make up the symphony that is a motorcycle ride. So now you know your motorcycle a little better. It's almost like meeting a new friend, isn't it? And like any friendship, it will grow and deepen with time and experience. So let's move on to the next step, starting your new friend up. Now that we've made our introductions, it's time to bring our motorcycle to life. The first thing you'll want to do is insert your key into the ignition and give it a turn. Listen closely. You should hear a faint hum. That's the fuel pump priming itself. Now you're ready to ignite the engine. Look for the starter button, usually found on the right handlebar. With your right thumb, press this button and hold it until you hear the engine start. It should only take a few seconds. Once the engine is running, give your throttle. That's the twist grip on your right handlebar, a gentle twist. You should hear the engine rev up, ready to hit the road. Remember, don't get too twist happy. A gentle touch is all you need. If your bike has a Kickstarter, you'll be using your foot to kickstart the engine instead, but the process is similar. And just like that, your motorcycle is purring like a kitten, or roaring like a lion, depending on your preference. Now comes the fun part, actually riding the motorcycle. So you're all geared up, you've familiarized yourself with the motorcycle's anatomy, and you've successfully started the beast. But what's next? Well, that's where the real adventure begins. Let's start with the clutch and gear lever. The clutch, typically located on the left handlebar, is like the heart of your motorcycle's operation. As you squeeze the clutch lever, you're disconnecting the engine from the gearbox, allowing you to shift gears smoothly. Now, to get your motorcycle moving, you'll need to gently release the clutch while simultaneously applying a bit of throttle. It's a subtle dance between your left hand and your right. Speaking of throttle, this is your motorcycle's accelerator, found on the right handlebar. The more you twist it, the faster you'll go. But remember, it's not a race. Gradual and smooth is the name of the game when it comes to throttle control. It's all about feeling the bike's response and adjusting your grip accordingly. Now let's talk brakes. You have two of them, the front brake on the right handlebar and the rear brake at your right foot. The front brake has more stopping power, but using it alone can cause your bike to tip forward. The rear brake, while less powerful, helps keep the bike stable during stops. The best practice is to use both brakes together with a bit more pressure on the front one. Remember, braking should be done gradually and smoothly, just like your throttle control. Sudden, hard braking can lead to skidding, or worse, a fall. As with everything in motorcycling, practice makes perfect. So, take your time and get comfortable with your bike's braking system. And there you have it. You've learned the basics of riding a motorcycle. From using the clutch and gear lever to get moving, to controlling your speed with the throttle, and stopping safely with your brakes. Congratulations, you're now a bona fide squid on wheels. But remember, with great power comes great responsibility. Always wear your gear, respect the rules of the road, and above all, enjoy the ride. And that, my fellow squids, is how you ride a motorcycle. Let's quickly recap the journey we've taken together today. We started by gearing up for the ride. Helmets, gloves, jackets, boots, and knee guards. Each piece of gear is not just a fashion statement, but a lifesaver. It's your first line of defense against the unpredictable road. Then we took a deep dive into the anatomy of a motorcycle. We learned about the clutch, the gears, the throttle, and the brakes. Each part of your bike is a tool at your disposal. Understanding them and how they work together is the key to mastering your ride. Next, we went through the startup process. It's more than just a twist of the key or a push of a button. It's a ritual, a sequence of steps that brings your mechanical beast to life. From engaging the kill switch to warming up the engine, every step is crucial. After that, we hopped on to the actual riding. We learned how to balance, how to shift gears, how to use the throttle and brakes. Remember, smooth is fast. The smoother your actions, the more control you have over your bike, and the faster and safer you can ride. But it doesn't end here. The road to becoming a skilled rider is long and winding. It requires constant practice and a commitment to safety. Always remember to respect the road, your ride, and other road users. Your actions can directly impact not just your life, but the lives of others as well. It's also important to remember that every ride is a learning experience. Each time you saddle up, you'll discover something new, something different. Take these lessons to heart, and they'll help you become a better rider. Remember, the road is a wild place, and it's up to you to navigate it safely. So until next time, stay safe, stay alert, and keep riding.